Welcome to day 3 of this 7-day yoga journey, and we're focusing on a relax and unwind class today. And if you'd like to join, maybe lowering the lights, putting on a candle, some incense, and maybe some background music, nice calm relaxing sounds. So choose some tunes that you enjoy. Rolling out the mat in space for you to move. I'm not using any props today. And coming to start by lying down on the back, extending the legs, let the ankles roll away from the body and the palms can face upwards, lifting up the sacrum, the base of the spine, and lowering the hips back to the mat, and lifting the shoulder blades and slowly release back down, create some space in the hip and shoulder joints. Close the eyes, take the gaze inward as we start to arrive on our mat today. Tune into the breath. Observe the natural rhythm as we ground to the earth. And we're going to extend the breath, bringing one hand to the lower abdomen, one to the heart center. We're going to extend for a count of 4. So on the next inhale, draw in for 2, 3, and 4. Hold, release, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Continue with this rhythm, following your own breath count for a count of 4. Slowing down the breath, observing the movement from your lower abdomen up towards the lungs, and connecting back with the physical body. As we slow down the breath, we send a message to the nervous system that we're safe, it's okay to relax, let go. And through the practice today, very much focusing on being kind to ourselves and coming back to the breath through the practice when the mind may wander or the physical body is speaking to you. And then let the breath return to its natural rhythm. Observe any changes, any sensations. And drawing the ankles together, opening the eyes, let the hands fall by the sides. And start to wake up the body on the inhale breath. Take the hands up and overhead. Full body stretch, point through the fingers, point through the toes. And exhale, slowly release, lower the hands down. One more time, inhale, take the hands up and overhead. Full body stretch, and exhale, slowly release. One more time, inhale, hands up and overhead, point through the fingers, point through the toes, and exhale, slowly release, drawing the knees into the chest, hands around the shins, roll side to side, massage the spine against the earth, and then bringing the hands to the knees, push the sacrum down to the mat and take small circles to the right, and then circles to the left. Keeping the right knee on the chest, extend the left foot, flexing the left foot. Right hand holds the right knee, and we're going to take the circles. Knee goes out to the side and drawing it back into the center. Warming up through the hip joint. You can maybe get the circles to go increasingly bigger as we keep the sit bones grounded. And then draw back to the center and take the circles in the opposite direction. So going forward, round and back to the center of the body. 5 times in total. And draw back into the center. Left hand holds the right knee. Take the right foot across the body, coming into a twist. Right hand can come out to the T position. Gaze over towards the right hand, letting the right shoulder connect with the earth. Maybe close the eyes, gaze inward. As we open through the right side body, tune into the sensations. And then come all the way back to the center. Extend the right leg out, keeping the right foot flexed. Bring the left knee in. Left hand to the left knee. And again, circles out to the left side, drawing back into the center of the body. You can make the circles get increasingly bigger as we open through the hip joints. And then draw it into the center and take across the body, circles in the opposite direction. Observing the difference maybe between the left and right side. What's happening to your body? And then come back to the center. Right hand holds the left knee. Cross the left foot across the body, coming to the right side. Left hand out to the T position and gaze, if good for the neck, towards the left hand. Again, you can close the eyes, take the gaze inward, opening through the left side body. Observe any sensations. Notice if you're holding any tension and soften the breath. Come all the way back to the center line. Draw both knees into the chest, cross the ankles and roll slowly all the way back up, coming into a comfortable seated position. Make sure that you can see both heels, feet, knees crossed comfortably. Move side to side on your sit bones. Find your center. Take one hand to your lower abdomen, one to the lumbar arch, and really draw the shoulders back, pushing through the sit bones to lengthen the spine. And then take the hands high, extra length, palms meet, and draw into the heart center, Anjali Mudra. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Take the arms wide, gaze up, fingertips touch, palms meet, and draw into the heart center. And again, inhale, lift the hands high, reach, lengthen the spine, and draw into the heart center. Coming into a twist, left hand comes to the right knee, right hand behind you, and gaze over the right shoulder. Notice if you're falling back, you want to push through the sit bones to create length and avoid rounding in the lower back. Use the breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw the navel in. Breathe softly here. And then come back to the center. Right hand, left knee. Left hand behind you on the fingertips close to the glutes. Push through the sit bones. Lengthen the back of the neck, chin parallel with the floor. Again, breathing into the twist. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Soften the breath. And then come back to center. I'm going to take the feet so they're crossed in the opposite direction. And again, move on your sit bones, find the center. Find one hand on your lumbar arch, one on your lower abdomen. Draw the shoulders back. Take the hands high and draw into the heart center. This time we take the right hand down to the side and take the left hand up and overhead, bringing in a side stretch, and gaze down towards the right hand. Opening through the left side body, gentle pulses here. And then float the hands high as the left hand grounds, right hand comes up and overhead. Gaze towards the left hand. Again, slight pulses as if the right fingertips are just reaching slightly overhead. Keep drawing the right shoulder back and the heart through. And again, float the hands up and overhead. Right hand grounds, left hand lifts. Gaze down to the right hand, lengthen the back of the neck. And take the hands high one more time. Left hand grounds, right hand high. And come back to the center. Now we're just going to work a little bit through the neck now. So drop the head down, tuck in the chin, lengthen the back of the neck. And then take the right ear to the right shoulder. Lengthen the left side. Head rolls all the way back, open through the throat. And left ear, left shoulder. Coming all the way back down to center. And in the opposite direction, left ear, left shoulder. And take the head back nice and slow. And then right ear, right shoulder. And drop the head all the way down. Coming back up to the center. And we're going to come over onto all fours into our tabletop position. Fingers spread wide, middle finger facing forward and hands underneath the shoulders. Wrap the triceps, knees are underneath the hips. And pushing into the tops of the feet, we're going to come into a cat-cow. On the inhale, lift the gaze, drop the spine, lift the tailbone. And on the exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin and push the hips back into a child's pose. Lower down. Inhale, come forward, lift the gaze, drop the spine. And on the exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, hips push back. Lower down. One more time. Inhale. Lift the gaze. Drop the spine. Lift the tailbone. And exhale. Tuck the tailbone. Curl the spine and push back. This time bring the big toes together. Knees go wide. Reaching out from the lower back. Take the forehead down to the ground in extended child's. Close the eyes. Breathe here. Soften the breath. Observe the physical body. Tune into the sensations. And then lifting the gaze, walk the hands over to the left side of the mat, reaching up and forwards, lower the head back down, bringing in a side stretch. Breathe here. And then lift the gaze, walk the hands over to the right side of the mat. Again, lifting up and to the right as the head drops down. Coming back to the breath. Opening through the left side body. And then come all the way back to center. Drawing your way up onto all fours. Knees under the hips, pushing into the tops of the feet. This time walking the hands so they're mat width apart. Melting the chest towards the earth. Maybe the forehead reaches or the chin. Coming into puppy pose. Drawing the navel in on the exhale. Releasing through the shoulders. Breathe here. And then lifting back up, draw the hands back into the center of the mat. We're going to roll the triceps again, fingers spread wide, tuck the toes, and then lift the hips high, coming into our first downward dog. Feet are hip width apart, heels turn out slightly. And again, check that your hands, fingers spread wide, roll the triceps under, lift the tailbone, maybe bend the knees to help the chest move towards the thighs, and you lift the tailbone high. And then drop the right knee towards the mat as the left heel grounds as we pedal through the feet. Left knee bends, right heel grounds. And taking it one at a time, one more time on each side. Rolling through the legs as we open through the hamstrings and then settle back into the downward dog. Keep drawing the navel in on the exhale breath and let the head go. And then we're going to roll forward, coming into our plank pose, pushing through the heels, draw the navel in. Breathe here, 2 breaths. And then lift the hips back up into our downward dog. 2 breaths here. And roll forward one more time, plank. Length through the heels, all the way down the spine. And lift the hips back high. And this time we're going to walk the hands closer to the feet. So still in an upside down V, but shortening the distance as we set up for a twist. So root down through the left hand, and then the right hand comes across to hold the right shin, and the gaze is up under the left arm. Keep the hips square to the front of the mat and observe the sensations. And then the right hand grounds down, and the left hand comes across to the right shin, gazing under the right arm. Tailbone lifting, bend the knees to help. And then take the left hand forward, walk the hands to the front of the mat, gaze lifted, and the feet follow, small steps, coming right up to the top, big toes together, heels slightly apart. Bend the knees on the fingertips. We're going to halfway lift, lengthen the spine, lift the gaze, and then exhale, fold your way down. Bend the knees so the chest meets the thighs. Fingertips line up with the toes and hands push into the earth to help lift the tailbone high. You can bend the knees to help you get deeper and keep lifting through the tailbone in Uttanasana. Breathe into the body. Observe where you're feeling any sensations. And we're going to bring in a twist. So the left hand comes into the center, just in front of the feet. Bend through the left knee and straighten the right. And then float the right hand high up towards the sky. Gaze up towards the right thumb. Imagining there's a piece of string between the nose and the thumb. And breathe into the twist. Observe the sensations. Keep the hips square. And then drop the right hand down. Right hand comes in front of the feet. Bend through the right knee, straighten the left, and float the left hand high. Gaze follows up towards the left thumb. Breathe here, keeping a squareness in the hips. And then drop the left hand down. And this time take the hands to the elbows, ragdoll, side to side. Release the head. And roll all the way up. Slowly, so the head and shoulder come last. Roll the shoulders to the ears, pedal through the feet. And we come into our mountain pose or Samastiti. Tucking the tailbone, lengthen the spine. And we're going to take the hands high, fingertips touch. And then bend the knees, float your way down. Chest meets the thighs, hands towards the floor. Lift the tailbone. Forward fold, and then inhale, halfway lift, bend the knees, lift the gaze, straighten the spine. Step the left foot back and drop the left knee down to the ground. Untuck the back toe. Front knee is over the right ankle. And we're coming into our low lunge. Tailbone tucks, draw in the lower abdomen and lift the hands high. You can turn the little fingers so they're pointing in to create space. Through the shoulders, gaze straight ahead, chin parallel with the floor. Breathe here. Imagine that your feet are drawing into the center of the mat to really switch the glutes on. And then we're going to drop the hands down to the mat and push the hips back, rolling onto the heel of the right foot for our half splits. Maybe coming onto fingertips. You could maybe bring some blocks here as well under the hands. You want to keep lengthening the spine, gaze forward. And then point through the right toes. Opening even more here through the hamstrings. And release, come back to a flexed foot. Lengthen the spine. And roll forward, coming back up into our low lunge. Keeping the tailbone tucked, lifting the lower abdomen. And then ground the left hand inside the right knee and bringing in a twist. Right hand floats to the sky, hips square to the front of the mat. Gaze up towards the top thumb. And then the right hand grounds. Walk the right foot out to the right side of the mat, and the right hand comes inside the right leg, coming into our lizard pose. And you can stay here in the low lunge, or you can tuck the back foot and come up. So choosing the variation that works in your body, a line of energy all the way from the crown of the head through to the heel. Breathe here. Deep stretch through the hip flexors. And lower the left knee down to the ground. Walk the right foot back into the center. Hands frame the front foot. Pivot on the back toe. Left foot steps forward to meet the right. Bend the knees, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold forward. Release the head, Uttanasana. And take the hands wide. Root to rise all the way back up. And come back to Samastiti at the front of your mat. And we're going to set up to do on the other side. So taking the hands high, gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, fold your way down, bend the knees, release the head, lift the tailbone. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. This time the right foot steps back and the right knee grounds. Untuck the back toe. Ensure the front knee is over the ankle at right angles. Tuck the tailbone, lift the lower abdomen and take the hands high. In our low lunge, again imagining the feet are drawing into the center of the mat. And take the hands down, roll the hips back, coming onto the left heel. Again, you may be on your fingertips. Gaze lifts, lengthen the spine as we open through the left leg. And then point the left toes down towards the ground. Extra stretch. And then come back up, flex the foot. Make sure the hips are aligned, squared with the front of the mat. And roll forward, come back into the lunge, take the hands high, tailbone tucked. And this time the right hand grounds inside the left foot and the left hand lifts high, square in the hips. Nose, piece of string between the nose and the thumb as you twist deeper. Hips square with the front of the mat. And again, come down as you walk the left foot out to the left side and bring both hands inside of the left leg. You can stay here in the lizard pose or tuck the back foot and come up into a lunge. Breathing here, line of energy all the way from the heel to the top of the head. And drop the right knee back down, bring the left foot into the center, pivot on the back toe, right foot steps forward to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold your way down, lift the tailbone, release the head, and take the hands wide, root to rise, come all the way back to Samastiti, pedal through the feet. And we're going to step out along the long edge of the mat, bringing the heels towards the edge. If you take your hands out wide in the T position, you can check that the feet are underneath the wrists. And we're coming into a Prasarita Padottanasana, which is a wide-legged forward fold. So you can bring the hands to the hips, draw the shoulders back, squeeze the thighs, and exhale, fold your way down. Hands come between the legs. Imagine that the fingertips are aligned with the toes and the elbows are pushing behind you, squeezing a block. Chest is moving between the thighs, crown of the head moving towards the earth. You can maybe bend the knees here as you lift the tailbone high. And then connect with your breath. Opening through the body. And coming up onto fingertips, walk your left hand in front of you. Also, it's in the center between the left and the right leg. I'm going to float the right hand high, gaze up towards the right thumb, bringing in a twist. And then bring the right hand down And this time the left hand floats high, gaze up towards the left thumb. And slowly release. Heel toe the feet together. Bend the knees and lift your way all the way back up to the front of your mat as we flow down to the ground. Take the hands high, bend the knees, release the chest, release the head, lift the tailbone. Inhale, halfway lift. Step both feet back, coming straight into a downward dog. Pause here for a moment in our upside down V. Bend the knees generously to help lift the tailbone. And just observe how this feels now in your body after we've created some heat. And drop the knees down to the ground, taking the legs out in front of you. And coming into our staff pose, our Dandasana. And both sit bones on the mat. Legs are parallel, heels meet, toes flexed. And then put the fingertips either side of the hips. Find length in the spine. Draw the shoulders back. And we're going to take the hands high, reaching length in the spine, and then fall forward with palms facing upward. You may want to bend the knees, chest meets the thighs, release the head, soften in the pose. As we slow down, connect back with the earth. And lifting back up. We're going to draw the soles of the feet towards the earth, knees face to the ceiling, hands either side of the legs, curl the chin into the chest and roll your way down towards the earth, bringing both knees in. Cross the right leg over the left and take the hips over to the left as you let the hips go to the right as the knees go to the left. Hands come out to the T position and gaze over to the right hand in the supine twist. Observing the sensations as we slow back down. And then come back to the center. Unwind the legs, realign the hips. Left leg crosses the right, hips move to the left, knees go to the right, and gaze over to the left hand. Connect back with the breath. Release in the pose. And then draw back to the center, extending both legs are out, coming into our Shavasana, our final resting pose. Let the ankles roll out, palms can face up or down to the ground. Again, maybe lifting up the sacrum, space in the hips as you lower, moving the hips side to side. Lifting up the shoulders, release back down. Close the eyes. Scan through your body as we integrate the physical practice through the body. Observe the sensations. Come back to the breath. Take time to slow down. And you can stay here if you'd like to practice a little more in Shavasana, resting a little bit longer. Or if you'd like to wake up with me, you can bring your ankles together. Take the hands up and overhead, point through the toes, point through the fingers, full body stretch. And then draw the knees into the chest, hold the shins, roll side to side. Massage the spine one last time before crossing the ankles and moving over to the left or right side into a fetal position. Pausing here for a moment. See energies move and settle. And then bring the hands to the side of the body and make your way up into a comfortable seated position. And we're going to take the hands high one last time. Gaze to the thumbs, draw into the heart center. Thank you so much for joining me in our practice today, and sending love and light. Namaste.